Hi everybody, this is the training for the indicators involved in the SlingShot Special Edition and one more, the Bicep heat map. What I wanted to do is actually make a training video to help people understand how to use and combine those indicators in the Special Edition, because you get the xBrat SlingShot for 6 months, you get the Guardian Zones for 3 months, and you get a 1 month trial on the VWAP Predator. And I want to show the importance of how combining these can actually be a very, very strong Confluence strategy. And it's only for the NinjaTrader platform. So again, we're looking at the SlingShot, the xBrat Guardian Zones, and then the VWAP Predator. These are ones are included in the Special Edition. So let's move forward. So let me get rid of my ugly mug and we can get on with training. So let's go through. Signals are provided by the SlingShot and the VWAP Predator. The confirmation tool, this is the bias depth heat map. Now, lots of our users that have bought the or leased the SlingShot Special Edition already have the bias depth heat map. For those watching this for the first time, you can check out the links below this video for the bias depth heat map. That is your bias on 6 different time frames, higher time frames, bullish, neutral, or bearish. It's your go, no-go gauge. No bias confirmation, no trade. And then the fresh air, okay, fresh air is the Guardian Zone. So multiple time frame support and resistance zones. Minimum risk reward is very important when we are trying to trade any type of strategy, really. No fresh air equals no trade. So some simple rules. If we got signal plus no confirmation, but we've got fresh air, there's still no trade. If we've got signal and we've got confirmation, but there's no fresh air, there's no trade. These are very, very strict and very simple rules to follow. We got signal plus confirmation plus fresh air, we have trading opportunity. There's no exceptions. It's the simple set of rules. So remember, now we're talking about the Confluence trading strategy here with the SlingShot, the VWAP Predator, the bias depth heat map, and then the Guardian Zones to keep us safe, to work out that fresh air. So I've got 3 examples here on ES. So this is ES, and it's on a special Unirenko chart, and we can give you that for free. Just check out the link in the description, and you can go and get the Unirenko chart type for free. So I've done a lot of optimization with this, and if and when you've got the SlingShot Special Edition and you're trading ES, I can give you those settings for the Unirenko because it's very, very hot. So let's go through. We're going to go left to right, and we're going to talk about how the signals, and this is a day in the life of ES on this particular time frame with the SlingShot Special Edition, the VWAP, bias depth heat map, and the Guardian Zones. So let's talk about the first signal here. We get we're coming into basically the London Open. Now, not everybody trades the London Open. That's fine. For me, I'm in a lucky situation. I live in Dubai, so I can trade the London Open and the US Open, and that's what I do. So we have a sell signal, type 1 sell signal from the SlingShot. All 6 time frames in the bias depth heat map are red. So we've got signal, we've got confirmation. We've got a lot of fresh air all the way down into the support and resistance zone, a lot of fresh air. So we're going to go short 1 contract on the SlingShot. Now momentum starts to build and we get 2 sell signals on the VWAP Predator. We have confirmation. We add another contract using the VWAP Predator at this time. So we're 2 contracts. I'm going to go through the average holding position a little later on. The fresh air is huge. Remember, when we're looking at risk reward, we're either looking at this pivot from the type 1 sell or even the top of the pullback zone, but there's a lot of fresh air all the way down to this major support. This is an overlap of 2 30-minute zones there, really, really strong. This red line here is our trailing stop. So once we've got our average holding position, now we're on 2 contracts, this is where we adjust our trailing stop all the way down to this point here until we get a little pullback against the move and we get a type 1 and a type 2 sell signal at this point here. All 6 time frames are red. There's our confirmation. We've got a reasonable amount, and I would say probably about 1 to 2 a risk reward from this pivot down to here, or from from this trailing stop position down here. So we've got fresh air. It's good. We can go. So one thing here is we want to add another one contract, a third contract to our position at this point. So I put it out to the right, but this line goes all the way down to that type 1, type 2 sell. But one thing you see here is we've got type 2 and a type 1 sell. We've got Confluence there, and we've got a little bit of Confluence to the VWAP, but we're not going to take that VWAP signals. We're going to take the SlingShot signals at that point. When we do that and we add another contract from the SlingShot strategy, we adjust our trading stop back above these pullback zones to give it a little room to breathe. Okay, so all this time with these 2 contracts, we've been pulling down all the way and adjusting our stop to this point. Once we add a third contract, remember that's going to put our average holding position or average price for those 3 contracts down a little further. We need to make sure we give this a little room, so we adjust that trading stop back above this pullback zone. As you can see here, we did pull back a little bit, didn't take out the stop. We did get 2 buy signals here. We've got no confirmation with green, yellow and red. Don't take the trades, you ignore them. Then we get a sell signal at this point here. We've got confirmation. We don't have a great deal of fresh air because really the stop for this would be all the way above this pivot, so we haven't got the risk to reward there, so we don't add a further contract at that point. This is our main target zone really, this overlap. You can see you've got the 2 dull greens and then the light green in the middle. That's where the 2 30-minute zones are overlapping. This is probably equivalent, remember Unirenco smooths out price action, but it's probably equivalent to around about, it depends on the time of the day, it could be 3, could be 5-minute chart, in the early hours it's probably a lot less than that, but this is where we are, this is where our main target is, and when we hit that target, take profit at those confluence of guardian zones is very important. So remember, we added contracts as momentum was continuing. We was using the confluences, we was using the SlingShot and the VWAP Predator to get those extra signals. We're talking about the trade management with the SlingShot there. We're looking at the risk to reward with that guardian zones, all of those combined, and this is what this video is about. So let's just talk about that. So the average holding position was 5060.75. So, the NinjaTrader calculates that. I had to do it myself for this purpose. But remember, our first position was all the way up here, second position here, second position. So this 5060 sort of area, once we've added that, is where our average holding position is for those 3 contracts. So let's go back to there. So the take profit price into that big support and resistance zone, or big support zone, is 5,000. So that's a total of 60.75 points, 243 ticks. We've got 3 contracts. So that's $337.50 per tick. That's a total profit of $9,112.50 profit on that particular trading day. Now, they're not all that big, so I wanted to show you something which is probably more of a daily occurrence rather than this one was the runner, and we could probably see that once every 10 days or so. So this one's longs, ES again, but this time we've got more support and resistance zones in here where my cursor is at this point here, down below here, and this one goes all the way through. So it's very important to understand, but so sometimes once we've been a little bit range bound, we got a lot more support and resistance. So we've got a lot of fresh air from this sort of zone here all the way up. Okay, so we've got, once we can clear this mess, this big lot of resistance, we've got a lot of fresh air. We've not got a lot of fresh air on this buy signal to this resistance zone on the VWAP Predator, even though we did have all 6 time frames in the green. Then we get this spurious sell signal. We've not got the confirmation. We're red and yellow. We don't take the trade. Now we start to get, what we do here is we get a buy signal on the VWAP Predator on one candle, on this candle here, and then we get a type 1 buy on the SlingShot. We've got a confluence of 2 totally different strategies, same buy ES. The buy line is right in this resistance zone. We're not going to take that, obviously. We've got all 6 time frames. We've got the confirmation from the bias depth heat map. We're going to put a sensible entry above and when it breaks out of there. Now, why am I not scared of this pivot? Because we've moved up, we've pushed through, we've pulled back into our probability pullback zones of the SlingShot. It's gonna slingshot. That's the whole idea of that. Then we've got the backup of the buy signal for the VWAP Predator. We're gonna go and enter 1 contract long on SlingShot VWAP Predator. Very, very simple. Remember, we then get two more at this point here. We've got buy. We're getting, the momentum is building here. Remember, we've got lots of fresh air at this point here. So we're we got confirmation. We're going to go long. We're going to add another contract long with a VWAP Predator. So this starts to build momentum. We've pulled back. We've got the SlingShot. We've pushed through the resistance. We've got that early entry. Now we're going to add another contract at this point. The second or the third for me is fine. I don't like the 1 candle wonders on this particular type of time frame. I prefer 2, maybe 3 once we're adding contracts. Now, then at this point here, we've got another set of buy signals at this point. We've still got lots of fresh air. We've got confirmation. We've got a good go. Let's add another contract. 1 contract long, VWAP Predator. Now it starts to print the trailing stop from that original type 1 buy back down here. These arrows here point out that trailing stop. So this starts to print around about when we start to add these third contract to this point, and we can trail it in, and then we get the close of the session. We're never going to carry it through the close, so take profit at the session close around about 52.10. So this is a bit more compact, this trade, but there were opportunities with those confluences of both VWAP and SlingShot to get some great trades and additions to there. So this time the average holding price for the 3 contracts was 5193. We took profit at 5210, 17 points, 68 ticks. 3 contracts is $37.50 per tick. Total profit of $2,450. And again, that would probably more of an average day, and on most of those, all of those trades were during that US pre-market and the US session. So again, that would be, I would say, a pretty standard day, whereas the other one was quite a runner, and you get runners. So let's do one more, okay? One more example. We're around 10:03 in the morning this time in ES time. We have a type 2, a type 1 sell from the SlingShot, and we have a VWAP Predator sell signal. So we've got a confluence of sell signals at that point. All 6 time frames are red. We've got fresh air down to the next point. Remember, this only just pulled back up above this resistance zone, that pivot there. The risk reward there is about 1 to 2, 1 to 2.5, something like that. We've got fresh air. So we're going to take that short signal, that 1 contract, with a combination, the confluence of SlingShot and VWAP Predator signals at that point. Now we do get some more sell signals here on the VWAP Predator. We've got all 6 time frames are red, so we got the confirmation, but we've got very little fresh air, so we don't add another contract at this point. Look what happened. It hit into that support zone and pushed back up again. At this point, we get a sell signal on the VWAP Predator coming back down. But we've got all 6 time frames, confirmation. We've got fresh air to the next, which is probably the biggest confluence zone of 60, 30, 15 and the native time frame. That's a massive lot of support there. So we go long sensibly when it breaks down below this confluence zone at this point here. Got enough fresh air, we take the trade. We take profit right at this big confluence zone. So why do we do that really? So initially, remember, we're talking about this trailing stop. We're using this trailing stop all the way down, and if you wanted to, you could take your profit at that point. However, this is a confluence of two zones. So this is the 60 and the 30. At the top here we've got 30 and 60, but this is 30, 60, 15 and the it's multicolored, really strong support. This is the one where we take the profit. We don't take profit into this point at this moment. Why? Because we're trailing it with a trailing stop. So we're still in profit and everything's good. And that's where we come to there. So in this case, we only took 2 contracts. Remember this, with the automated support and resistance zones, the guardian zones, this is very strong. This is the strongest out of the lot. This is 60, 30, 15. You can see them all up here, and this current time frame for the Unirenko. Really strong zone. That's where we should be taking profit. We certainly don't take these sell signals into that support there. Let's go through this one. Average holding price of 2 contracts is 5160.50. That take profit price was 5130. Total points 30.5. Total ticks 122. So 2 contracts is $25 per tick. Total profit for that trading opportunity was $3,050. Again, pretty close to that 3 contract trade as well. So remember, there are a set of rules and you need to stick to them. That's all you need to do. So signal plus confirmation plus fresh air equals trading opportunity. Do not deviate from that path. You also need to look for confluences to guide your path for entry signals, adding more contracts or not. Trade management with that trailing stop, or in the first example we had to adjust it back above the slingshot zone when we added another contract, and then eventually take profit. That will guide you. That take profit would either be at the trailing stop or on one of those confluence of support and resistance zones from the guardian zones. So hopefully that helps. I'm going to put the links down below again for the SlingShot Special Edition and the bias depth heat map. Remember guys, this is only for NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader is the most powerful platform out there and is the only one able to deal with the logic of all of these, the multiple time frame support and resistance zones, which are totally automated, the slingshot and the bias depth heat map and the VWAP predator, all on that same chart and not slowing the system down. Hopefully that helps. Check out the links below. Speak to you all really soon.